All right, hey there, Mark with Netpicks. I wanted to do this video. I'm going to keep it pretty informal, but I get a lot of questions about my cryptocurrency trading. Obviously, at Netpicks, we do a lot in active options trading, options alerts, day trading of futures, but we are also privately involved in active cryptocurrency trading as well. And I feel like the timing is good because clearly the markets are down a lot, 50% or more, depending upon which cryptocurrency we're talking about, which digital asset we're talking about. So I wanted to show you it impacts me as well, but also kind of the way that I break down my portfolio and sort of give you some hints on where I'm looking to buy back in some cases. Now, on the screen, you can see here I have a fair amount, just maybe like a lot of you, of cryptocurrency where I'm holding. I'm not looking to actively trade. This, I remember just a few weeks ago, was well over 500K. And obviously now it's down quite a bit. However, about 60% of my portfolio I will hold in this type of way, and about 40% I will look to actively trade. Primarily, almost all of the active trading is out. It's in cash right now. So I am looking for places to redeploy that cash and to get back on board. And what I'm focusing on primarily is Ethereum, Bitcoin. I'm looking to get back on board some more Chainlink and some more Solana. There's others as well, but those are some of my favorites as far as ones that I like to actively trade at this time. So I wanted to take you through a little bit of what my logic is on where I will go ahead and buy back in depending upon the cryptocurrency pair. So I'm going to start with Bitcoin just to let you know. And the way that I do it, I'm not going to go into all the details this time on this chart as far as like to kind of just go through the entire system, but I'll try to share that in future videos if there's interest, of course. If there's not interest, that's of course totally fine. But I would like to share some of that. But what I'm looking for is on this chart, it's a Keltner channel that I have, a modified Keltner channel, and I'm looking for price action to get oversold, right? So nothing unusual there, but this has really kept me on the right side of price action for years now, dating back all the way to I think around 2017. It's not perfect. It doesn't time everything exactly right. I'll never buy in at the exact low. I'll never sell at the exact high. But at the same time, I'm not going to take 30, 40, 50, 60% losses on any of my trades. This is also based on a daily chart, as you can see. So for instance, if we went back into the recent past, I actually got out of my active trading portion of Bitcoin back in the 60, I think it was the $61,000, $60,000 level. That was a pretty good exit. Now, as you just saw and I shared with you, does that mean I exited everything at that level? No. I still have my buy and hold position where I dollar cost average in, and I've continued to buy this whole way down on a daily basis. Actually, I have it set up to where every single day I buy a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And so this is fine. It's averaging down my entry price over time. And I did that way back in the past as well on the way up. And I'm going to continue to do that. But that's only for about, like I said, about 60% of the portfolio. About 40% I like to actively trade. I don't want to take big hits, big drawdowns. So what I'm looking for now is a place to get in. Now, you could argue right back in November, this felt like a pretty big sell-off. This is a big sell-off. This is a big sell-off. So where do you get in? So let me take you through the way I do it, my logic, and give you my buy points specifically for four of these digital assets right now, okay? So this is Bitcoin. Right now, what I'm looking for is not just to buy every time it gets oversold, whether you're looking at RSI or in my case, the Keltner channels. That's just not a place to buy because you can go down forever, as you see, especially in a bear market. But what I'm looking for is when I'm getting to these extreme levels, I look for price action to return back to the midline plus some portion of the average true range, which is down below. As of today, and this could change literally on a daily basis, but only once a day, I would buy back in on Bitcoin right now at 41,815. As of right now in real time, we're like around just below 38,000, okay? And I've had buy points along the way. I've had buy points around 49,000. I've had buy points, let's see, on this one, I would have been up around 54,000. Nothing's hit, nothing's bought in. Even though you see a crossover here of the midline, I don't get in just because we hit the crossover. All right, I'm looking for like I mentioned, a portion of the ATR above the midline when I have closing action at an extreme level. So not getting into all the rule set right now, but I just want to tell you that nothing along the way here would I have bought in. However, I have my alert set here at 41,815. If it happens to rally back to that, which it's a long way to go at this point, $4,000+, I would absolutely buy back in. And I just look to reassess this once a day. Okay, with this coming back above the channel, I'm not going to change my buy point. So that's it. I'm flat right now on the portion of my portfolio where I'm looking to actively trade Bitcoin. Let's move on to Ethereum and see what I'd be doing right now in Ethereum. And I'll give you my exact buy point. As of today, right now, it's 3102. There's a lot of price action to go to get there. Like I mentioned, if this turns out to be the low, you could argue with me and say, hey, you should have bought right here. And maybe that's right. But I could argue and say, well, you would have maybe said that here and here and here and here. It's turned out to be wrong. Now, I wasn't perfect on this time. When I got out of Ethereum, it was originally somewhere around 4,200, but I bought back in. And I did buy back in somewhere around 4,500. I had to get back out. So that time it turned out to be a signal or a trade that didn't work for me, right? So I took a loss on that re-entry. The good news was I got out on after a really nice move up here. That was a great trade. But I did reestablish the buy and I took a loss. However, at the time, I kind of thought it was, a bad trade. I was worried it was going to flip right back around and I was going to regret getting out somewhere in this $3,900 range. As it turns out, in retrospect, I'm really happy. I just took the loss in this one trade in here and let this fade and fade and fade. Now, have I had buy points along the way? I have, but none of them have filled. They've all been up here and then down here. And as of today, right now, when I'm recording this on the 26th of January, my buy point is right here at the alert level of 3102. It's very unlikely, right, that that's going to happen in the next 24 hours. I will reassess this in another day. And this price point will continue to come down as price action either goes sideways or starts to get constructive and starts to move back up. So like I promised you, I'm never going to get in at the low, but I'm going to avoid a lot of the pain on the way down. Solana is another one I would like to reestablish. I've exited a portion or a good portion of my position. Right now, as of today, my buy point, same thing, right? Extreme closes below the Keltner channel. I'm looking to get back to the midline plus some ATR. So as of today, when I measured it, my buy point is at 145.15, which is right here. I mean, we're way down at 95. It's not going to go up, right? 50% today. So clearly, while I have the alert set for that, I know ultimately my buy point is going to be lower. However, I have thankfully missed the majority of this decline. I was able to get out of my position somewhere in here. I remember it was like 205, 206. I still am holding some Solana. In my longer term, I do some yield farming as well. So that's different. I have to hold on to it. But in this case, I'm waiting for re-entry. Now, you could say, well, what happened here? Did you get in? In this case, I did not. Based upon my rule of where I closed plus my ATR, it actually kept me out of that. Unlike Ethereum, where I did get in roughly back in early December and then had to exit. And look, even if that would have happened, it would have just been a trading loss, but I would have avoided this entire bulk of the decline. And this is a significant decline from the high of 250 all the way down to 90, way beyond 50%. But I absolutely would love to reestablish some more Solana, but I'm not going to do that until my system says get back in. I'm going to look at one more that I would like to reestablish, which is Chainlink. I'm a definite believer. In this one, it has come down a lot. I can tell you a couple things on this one. I did get out somewhere in this area and I felt really good about it. We faded a lot, but I did reestablish the buy. I couldn't tell you the exact price, but I think it was somewhere around 24. And I had to get back out. And I took a loss when I got back out here just about a little bit over a week ago. And it was somewhere in the $22 to $23 range. All right. I would like to reestablish. So that was a small loss. I tried. You have to reposition yourself. But the good news is I didn't ride this all the way down to 14. I'm looking to get back long. It's pretty high above current price action right now. 25.27 is today's entry point. It's not going to happen today, right? It's $10 away. Ultimately, where I buy is going to be significantly lower, but I'm going to trail this buy stop down. I can update you in future videos if there's interest on where I would reestablish and give you more of my rule set. But I can tell you if I went back to 2018, 19, 20, 21 on Ethereum and Bitcoin, where there's a lot of history, it got me out many times at very preferable areas and saved me from the 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% declines. Again, I have to reiterate, it never got me out at the peak. It never got me back in at the low, but it lets me take a good chunk of the middle. And that's what I'm looking for when I'm actively trading. The other part of my portfolio that I'm holding on, I dollar cost average in. Okay, so when the price action is down, I'm trying to continue to buy. When it's up, I'm continuing to buy. And that's my approach. Doesn't have to be your approach, but that's how I do it. I kind of split it between just holding on and dollar cost averaging and then actively trading the other portion. And that's what I'm looking to do right now. The active trading that I'm in cash, I want to redeploy that cash, but not until I get a buy signal. They're not perfect. They don't win every time. I don't end up ahead each time that I do this. But more times than not, I do end up taking a profit on these trades off the daily chart. And every single time I take these trades, I never take a large hit. I mean, for me, probably a large drawdown would be 15% on a trade. Absolutely never 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. So I wanted to share that. If this is of interest, if you'd like me to continue to track these markets, kind of share with you more about where I am looking to get in and reestablish these trades and how I will manage them once I'm in these trades on the daily chart. And I like to do the daily because it's just once every 24 hours that I have to work at it just for a few minutes. And that keeps it really easy. I can continue to focus on my other trading with options and day trading and with Netpicks and those responsibilities. And I only have to give 2 to 5 minutes a day to digital assets and cryptocurrency trading this way. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more of this and I'd be happy to share it. Just wanted to kind of share this because I get a lot of questions about what I'm personally doing in my trading. As you can see, I have a pretty sizable position overall, and I'm looking to add to that at this point. All right, so with that, I appreciate you listening. Let me know down below if there's any questions and be happy to answer those.